not being a fun game to watch. It's the coach.
Hello and welcome back to Best Era Football. This is the Sunday night game for week number 4. The 87 Indianapolis Colts against the 84 Seattle Seahawks. And the Colts come in at 2-1. The Seattle Seahawks are 1-2. So if the Seahawks win, both these teams will be at 500 at 2-2. Of course, if the Colts win, they would go up to 3-1 and drop the Seahawks down to 1-3. This is the Sunday night game, so most of the scores are final. The only one that hasn't been played yet, of course, is the Monday night game between the 91 Redskins and the 1990 Chiefs. Everyone else has played, so you'll see their updated records and scores down below. And out comes Jack Trudeau. He has thrown for 623 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions so far on the year. Turn out play action fake to Eric Dickerson, and Trudeau stands there. He's got a lot of time and gets hit, fumbles the football, and then 2 Colt linemen, or a lineman in the backer, cannot pick it up, and the Seahawks recover it. So what a terrible start for the Colts. First of all, he has the protection. Let's take a look if they'll show us the coverage. It looks like there is some cushion, but they went with the deep passes. That's exactly what Seattle was playing on the first play of the game. Then he comes in, gets the hit. 2 guys fail to pick it up. Schultz does not fail. Here's another look at it. See a big number 77 coming in, causing the fumble. Jeff Bryant, and then Schultz recovering it. So a great start for the Seahawks. Terrible start for the Colts. Seahawks start with a 1st and goal on the 7-yard line. 1 play, 1 turnover. Zorn now from the shotgun. Fires and touchdown on his first pass. So a quick start. Zorn hits Steve Largent. That's Largent's first touchdown of the game. I'm not sure if that's the first touchdown of the season or not. I don't believe so. I believe he's had at least one other one. But you notice that I mentioned it was Jim Zorn throwing. If you have forgotten, in week 2, Dave Craig got hurt late in the game, and they lost that game to go to 0-2. Zorn played last week and led the Seahawks to their first win, and now he's in there again today, and he has 1 pass and 1 touchdown. So I mean, it's hard to say that the team is better without Dave Craig or anything like that, but since Dave Craig got hurt, the Seahawks have been playing much better. Part of it could be competition, of course. The 87 Colts are not the same as playing the 89 Niners, which is the game that Craig got hurt in. Speaking of the 89 Niners, there you see they won. They're up to 3-1. The Rams are also 3-1, so the Seahawks would love to get back to 2-2 and stay in the hunt in this division. There you just saw Dickerson get nowhere. Jack Trudeau now from the shotgun. And he will hand it off this time to Bentley. Bentley gets a couple yards. Here, let's take a look at the offense here. Hinton, Utt, Donaldson, Patton, and Kevin Call, the offensive linemen. Eric Dickerson and Albert Bentley are the runners. Brooks and Boza are the wide receivers. Sorry, I had to switch off controllers because apparently the controller just died without warning. I thought it was at 2 bars, but Jack Trudeau is having a problem here. He stands there again for way too long and takes a sack. That'll bring up 4th and 11. We'll have to. I am technically the coach. Again, with Dave Craig being hurt, the Seahawks don't have a choice. They basically have to go Jim Zorn. So the team I decide to technically control for the simulations, I usually pick the team that has a realistic reason to go to their backup quarterback. So for instance, I don't know that the 89 Niners would ever take out Joe Montana, but they have a very good backup in Steve Young, so that's at least reasonable to let the backup play, although I don't know that I'd ever take out Montana. But if Craig was not injured, Zorn is a very capable backup, so I might be them. In this case, though, the Colts, Jack Trudeau is anything but a star, and the backup quarterback, Gary Hogaboom, or Hagaboom, is definitely a capable player. I don't know why I can't remember how to say his name. I knew it. So I am the Colts. So if Trudeau continues to stand there for an hour and not get the ball out of his hands, we might have to go to the backup, but it's too early to make a rash decision. And what can we tell you about these teams? Well, the Seattle Seahawks, of course, have a great runner, Kurt Warner, on their team, but in '84 he was injured in the first game of the season, and therefore for these ratings he has number one, he has a high injury rating, so if they use him too much in a game, he's going to get hurt. Second, with the formation subs, the Seahawks, when they lost Kurt Warner, it was just basically running back by committee. So they had a bunch of backs carry the ball, all of them very. I don't even know if anyone had exactly 100 yards. Hold on, I'll look that up real quick. I mean, 100 yards, yes, but 100 carries. It was very spread out. Let me just give you the exact stats here so you know what I'm talking about. The Seahawks had. Okay, yeah, so. Here's listen to these carries. David Hughes had 94. Eric Lane had 80. Franco Harris had 68. Randall Morris had 58. Dan Dornick had 57. Zachary Dixon had 52. That's 6 different running backs with over 50 carries, but none of them had 100 carries. And then Dave Craig scrambled for 46 times, so it was definitely running back by committee. Kurt Warner had 10 carries for 40 yards on the season. Again, he got hurt in week 1. So because of that, they're schemed up to get a lot of running backs in and out. And so you will see multiple guys get carries, including Kurt Warner, as long as he stays healthy. But in the first 3 games, he has only averaged, I don't think he's gotten more than 5 or 6 carries in any of those games so far. I think one game they may have gave it either to Dornick or Lane 10 times, exactly 10. Otherwise, no back has hit double digits in carries in any of the first 3 games here. And for the most part, the Seahawks are a passing team. They just run to keep the defense honest. Zorn now to pass again. He'll run away from trouble, and then, ooh, nice play. Looked like a man was open, but it was knocked down. That was Zorn's first incompletion, 5 of 6. A nice start. It was Willis Tullis, the starting left cornerback, who knocked that one away. 3rd and 5 now. Seahawks already up by a touchdown, looking for more. Zorn from the shotgun. He'll step up. Steps up again. Great protection. He'll step up again and finally just runs for it. Puts his head down and gets the first down. A 5-yard. No, he's inches short. He gained 5, but he's inches short. Now comes Norm Johnson, who, as you might have noticed, he's been on also the Falcons and I believe the Steelers. He's on 3 different teams in Best Era Football. A kicker that was obviously accurate enough to find his way into jobs every time one team let him go. He's not the best kicker in Best Era Football. He's certainly not the worst. Probably overall, I think all 3 of them on all 3 teams he had above average season, so he's probably somewhere in the middle. Maybe even upper middle. Okay, so now the Colts come out, and this is an important drive. Let's take a look at Jack Trudeau here on passing plays. He needs to get rid of the ball if he has good protection. Here we go, play action. 1, 2. Okay, he got rid of it there, and he misfired. So he finally stopped holding on to the ball, but then he misfires. That's not much better, but take a look at the Seahawks defense. Jacob Green, Joe Nash, Jeff Bryant. A lot of J's, of course. Keith Butler, Shelton Robinson, Bruce Schultz, and Greg Gaines are your linebackers. And then you have Simpson and Brown, the corners. John Harris is 1 safety, and Kenny Easley, arguably the best safety in Best Era Football. But that's hard to say because there's Ronnie Lott, there's Steve Atwater, John Lynch is in here. But Kenny Easley is a fantastic player. Sometimes, I believe, underrated. Had he played a few more seasons, perhaps people would give him the respect that he deserves. But, I mean, he is a Hall of Famer. It's not like the NFL didn't realize how good he was. In 1984 specifically, he had 10 interceptions as a 25-year-old, and he just, for about a 6-year period, he was the best safety in football. So there Jack Trudeau comes with a nice pass. A little more about Kenny Easley. He started in 81, only played through 87, so that's part of the reason his longevity. But just those from age 22 to 28, only 7 seasons. In 7 seasons, he was able to rack up 32 interceptions, 3 defensive touchdowns, 11 fumble recoveries. So that's 43 turnovers in 7 years. So he averaged over 6 turnovers a season. Fantastic player. 5-time Pro Bowler in 7 years. And 84 might have been his best year. Second and 1 coming up here for the Colts. Play action pass now. Trudeau gets it out of his hands. So we're getting what we've seen. We're threatening to bench him if he didn't start getting the ball out of his hands. He has. That one was complete to Kelly Johnson.
That's often a surprise for the defensive guys when they see the big fella slide out of the backfield and catch the ball. Not something they usually go over in practice very often.
All right, here we go. Boom, land it. Gonna give this time to the tailback. And he's gonna get this one down.
So let's give you a little bit more information. There you see Eric Dickerson at 86 yards last week. He's up to 210 on the season, averaging 70 yards per game, but he has not found the end zone yet. Let's talk a little bit about the 87 Colts. They went 9-6 in 87. 18th ranked offense, but the number 1 defense in 1987. Also, people, if you remember Tecmo Bowl, which is basically the video game that, the first football video game that I fell in love with, I guess you would say. And then Tecmo Super Bowl even beat that. But Tecmo Bowl, you remember having a lot of fun there with this Colt team. The funny thing about Tecmo Bowl, and that is good. So Bayasuchi, good from there, and that gets it to a 10-3. But what I was going to say is that my Tecmo Bowl had Albert Bentley as the running back. My friend had Tecmo Bowl, and they had Eric Dickerson in it. So a little bit strange. But the reason it's possible is because Dickerson did not play the whole year with the Colts. In Best Era Football, of course, he is on the team because he did play most of the season with the Colts, but he actually started the season with the Rams, and they traded for him. There's a handoff to, I believe that's Lane. Yep, Eric Lane is second carry. So the Colts went 9-6, first place in their division, 18th best offense, number 1 defense. In the playoffs, they lost in the divisional round to the Cleveland Browns. And the 87 Browns are not in here, but the 86 Browns are. So if they ever play, that'll be an almost rematch. Oh, there's a play action pass, but Cooks doesn't fall for it. He comes and takes Zorn out. That's his 6th sack of the season, off to a great start. Seahawks, a little information about them. They went 12-4, a much better record. Also won their division. No, they did not win their division. Sorry, they were second because in 1984, of course, they were second behind the Denver Broncos, who were 13-3. But still, very good record at 12-4, second place in their division, which made them play the wild card game. They won that game against the Raiders. That division was very tough. Oh, sorry. If you don't know, the Seahawks were not always in the NFC. They were in the AFC West here in '84. So their division was with the Broncos, Raiders, and Chiefs, and Chargers, and they finished in second. 12-4. The Broncos won at 13-3. The Raiders were 11-5, a very good team themselves. In fact, the Raiders were Super Bowl champions in 1983. So in the wildcard game, they had to play those Los Angeles Raiders, and they beat them 13-7. 84, of course, you'll remember, was Dan Marino's season until the Super Bowl, and then Joe Montana took it away from him. But so, of course, they lost when they went up against Dan Marino 31-10. But the main thing about the Seahawks, they were number 5 offense in the league, number 5 defense in the league. Pretty good to be top 5 at both aspects. But their defense was not only number 5 in points allowed, but they were one of the all-time greatest at causing turnovers. There's Bryant getting his first carry, and he goes 3 yards. So we saw the game started with a turnover. That's the Seahawks for you for sure. Caused turnovers, and then most of the time, because of those turnovers, they were winners. Occasionally, they would not take as advantage of the turnovers as they needed to, maybe only getting field goals instead of touchdowns. But there's Kurt Warner's first carry. He gets just the 2 yards. Again, Warner on a limited pitch count, if you will, or snap count, because they want to keep him around. It's in case they need it. He is the most talented of their backs, but very injury prone. I had to rate him that way because he's not supposed to be a big part of this team. but he is part of the team, and a little bit, I mean, I wanted him to get hurt if they overuse him, but I also want there to be that random chance that he stays healthy all year. And maybe you can see what could have happened, what might have been if the 84 Seahawks would have had Kurt Warner healthy throughout the year. Zorn from the shotgun. Of course, in best era, so far they've kept Warner healthy, although he hasn't gotten his, you know, if they knew Warner was going to stay healthy, they'd probably give him 20 to 25 carries and have him get 120 yards. And so by not being able to do that, still keeps their running game from being overpowered or anything. But in best era football, they lost their quarterback, Dave Craig. He's still a couple weeks away from coming back. But as I said, Zorn led him to a win last week. If he leads him to a win here, I don't want to say quarterback controversy, but we'll have to see how it goes.
No gain on the play there. They're going to need to come up with something better here on 3rd and goal.
Partner, I know we're in a goal-to-go situation, but my goodness, think about running the ball here. Not even a thought, is it?
Defensively, they're in a prime spot.
But I think the defensive guys are expressing themselves too.
Zorn now on 3rd and goal. He's in trouble, and down he goes.
And that's the kind of stand all defenses are seeking. 3rd and goal, backs against the wall, and they get a monster sack, and now they're going to force them into a field goal. For them, that's a win.
So the Colts get the sack that they desired, and that will force Norm Johnson to come out again.
It's a 36-yard attempt.
Good snap, good hold, and Norm Johnson's good again. And the Seahawks expand to a 10-point lead, 13-3. Now, how's the AFC South looking? Well, they have one of the few teams that are left winless, as the 99 Jacksonville Jaguars lost the winless bowl against the 85 Jets, so they are winless at 0-4. Then you have the 99 Tennessee Titans, a team that went to the Super Bowl. There you see they lost to the Houston Oilers, so they're down to 1-3. The Oilers with the win are up to 3-1 and in first place. And then you have these Colts at 2-1. So if the Colts can pull out a win here in Seattle, they will be tied for first at 3-1. If they lose, they're still in decent shape at 2-2, and still in sole possession of second place. Now, they certainly need Dickerson to get going. Between Dickerson and Bentley, ideally they would like those two to approach 175 to 200 yards on the ground. That's kind of asking for a lot, but they need it. The passing game is not their strength, and against a defense that causes a lot of turnovers. You would rather not see Trudeau in these 3rd and 12s, but that's where he is right now. A lot of teams got off the schneid. I mentioned that the 85 Jets won the winless bowl. The 98 Broncos also got their first win, and the 99 Tampa Bay Buccaneers got their first win. So we are down to the 99 Jaguars, the 91 Detroit Lions. I think that's it. I think there's only 2 winless teams in best era football. One on the AFC, one on the NFC. The Detroit Lions and the Jacksonville Jaguars. As far as undefeated, you might have saw, there you see right there, the Miami Dolphins lost their first game. The 93 Cowboys also lost their first game. So we're down to, as far as undefeateds go, in the AFC, we're down to 1. So the AFC has both one undefeated team and one winless team. The undefeated team is your 88 Bengals. In the NFC, we have the surprising 96 Panthers are still undefeated. There's a nice sack by Dwayne Bickett. The Colts are getting to Zorn. That's already 3 sacks on Jim Zorn. And the Seahawks need to step up their production before they have 2 injured quarterbacks. Who else is undefeated? There's one more. Oh, the 1998 Minnesota Vikings. So the Vikings in the north, the Panthers in the south, and then the AFC, the Bengals in the north. Those are your 3 undefeated teams in best era football. I told you nobody will be going undefeated because the competition is just too great. You're talking about playing 16 consecutive playoff teams. You're not going to win them all. Oh, Jim Zorn goes to Largent. And if you're going to throw one up, a 50-50 ball, not many people you can throw it better to than Largent, but Tullis was there to make the play on that one.
When the deep ball is thrown and you're the defender, you've got to fight that little bit of panic that emerges. You've got to play the ball really well. It's a 50-50 jump ball play. And guess what? They took a shot. How are you going to win it? And in this case, they managed to get it done.
So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Colts are going to take over, albeit deep in their own territory.
Now, I do not believe that the Vikings play the Panthers. I am pretty sure they do not. Oh, there's an interception. And that's another turnover. And again, that's what the Seahawks do. They cause turnovers. This time, the interception made by Shelton Robinson, the inside linebacker, of course. I already forgot. Did Madden show you the 4 linebackers? They play mostly a 3-4. Not sure if they showed you all 4 linebackers or not, but hopefully they did. Yeah, I think they did. I think they did show the 3-4 correctly. So now, Zorn and Seattle come out with a short field. They took the last turnover and turned it into a touchdown. Remember, the last one occurred inside the red zone as well. So the Seahawks, who force a lot of turnovers, have already forced 2 inside the Colts, or inside the red zone. First one was turned into 7. If they turn this one into a touchdown, we'll have a blowout alert. Guess we can go over the Pro Bowlers for each team. I was telling you Norm Johnson's in the upper half. The average between the 3 Norm Johnsons are in this best era of football are in the upper half. The best one might be the one on Seattle, as he was an all-pro, first-team all-pro and a Pro Bowler in '84. There is another sack. That's the only thing keeping the Colts in this game, is their ability to sack Jim Zorn and continue to force them to go for field goals. So this is a little bit harder than his other ones. This is a 47-yarder. In '84, he was 20 out of 24 from field goals and had 50 extra points. Norm Johnson comes through on this one. So he's a very good kicker in '84, all-pro Pro Bowler. They also had previously mentioned Kenny Easley, the best safety in the game in '84. And he was also an excellent punt returner, although it seems like the Seahawks sometimes use other people and punt returners in best era football. His secondary mate, Dave Brown, was also a Pro Bowler, the cornerback Dave Brown. Nose tackle Joe Nash was an all-pro and a Pro Bowler. And then on offense, they added Steve Largent and Dave Craig. Dave Craig, of course, hurt for this game, but basically 2 offensive Pro Bowlers, 3 defensive Pro Bowlers, and the kicker. So that's 6 Pro Bowlers altogether. Trudeau will fake it to Dickerson, and he's going to stand there and then launch it deep, and that was almost picked off. Trudeau 4 of 11 now. And we got to think about perhaps replacing him for the Colts. Eric Dickerson, of course, was an all-pro Pro Bowler. Then they had 3 different linemen. Chris Hinton, the tackle, Ray Donaldson, the center, and Ron Solt, the right guard. So a fantastic offensive line for the '87 Colts. And as you've seen, Trudeau has not been sacked anywhere near as often as Jim Zorn has been. But they have not run the ball very effectively, which is surprising with 3 Pro Bowl offensive linemen and an all-pro running back there. Trudeau hits him on a little short pass, and Dickerson picks up the first down. On defense, just the one, Dwayne Bickett, the only defensive Pro Bowler for the Colts. Here's play action pass. Trudeau slings it deep, and no. So the other thing about the Seahawks, they force turnovers. They also hit hard. They forced a record number of fumbles and total turnovers, and a lot of those fumbles were forced by hard hits. So a very hard-hitting defense, opportunistic defense that scores points and forces turnovers. Trudeau's wild on that throw again. He's 6 of 15. Another incompletion.
Send out their punter as he's on here to punt it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And that'll hit in the end zone. Much too much leg there. That'll be a touchback. Now here's the signal caller getting ready to lead this offense again. He's playing pretty well. I don't think it's necessarily him changing up something he's doing, but that O-line, they've got to protect him better.
They do. They've got to make sure that they give him more than enough time in order to find targets downfield. And sometimes what happens when these things are going on is that the field general will step
Seahawks will take over now.
Guys, I didn't get rid of it fast enough. Anything to try and relax them a little bit and take some pressure off because they do know that they are trying.
Yeah, well, we've seen the 4 sacks so far in this contest. Looking deep downfield and nearly picked off. Surprising to see a defender of his caliber let it get away, but it does get away and it's second down.
You're down 2 touchdowns. You just know defensively you absolutely have to come up with a big play.
There you see the almost interception.
Immediately after the drop and just saw
Safety.
they thought he had it. Unfortunately, couldn't come up with it.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
And second and 10, he'll look
And
to
taking a look at the Colts sidelines, indeed, Gary Hogaboom has started throwing. So we may, in fact, see a change at quarterback sometime in this game. Oh, that was actually rolled out of bounds. I thought Zorn had a nice throw to the sidelines, but second foot came down out of bounds, and that'll bring it to 3rd and 10. And the way the Colts have been sacking Zorn, he's going to have to get rid of this quickly. Let's see, he drops back, waiting for his receivers to get past the first down marker, and now he's going to run for it, and he will get the first down. So Jim Zorn, of course, a very athletic quarterback, definitely capable of running. He shows it on that play, of course. Just over 4 minutes to go in the first half here. 16-3 Seahawks. So back to pass. He will turn and throw it, and a little bit too far, but a great diving catch. So the throw was led a little bit too far, but Paul Johns with a nice dive brings it in. With that catch, that's, I mean, of course, Steve Largett is known for having just remarkable hands on one side, but Paul Johns showing if he makes catches like that, this is going to be a hard passing offense to stop. Assuming they'll block for him. And, oh, there's a throw. Oh, what? He goes up, he makes a nice catch, but as he's bringing it in, the Colts are able to knock it away. Not sure who that was on the knockaway, but it was a nice play. It shows Glasgow, but I do not believe it was him. So now 2nd and 10. The Seahawks have just gone to all-out passing unless Zorn decides to run. That was a nice blitz pickup, though. Let's see if they show the replay, because I believe that was Bryant. No, I think that was actually Eric Lane in on that one. But he picked up the blitzer in remarkable fashion. Will they show it? You can't see it, but on the left, the blitzing linebacker got just flipped. He did a full flip in the air before landing on his back. 3rd and 10 now. Zorn's going to throw again. Fakes it to Lane. Lane helps on Bickett. That's a smart play. And Zorn delivers to Paul Johns again, and they're inside the 25. Zorn now up to 152 yards. He's also mixed in a couple scrambles there. He's playing very effective again for this 2nd straight week. Things looked grim when the Seahawks got blown out by the 49ers and lost their quarterback, Dave Craig. Went to 0-2, and the quarterback was going to be out 4 to 5 weeks. But now, the first 2 weeks haven't been that bad, as the Jim Zorn show has led him to 1 win. And now he's playing good enough to win this one. If the Colts don't make some sort of adjustments, I think the Seahawks are going to get to 2-2. Zorn now in trouble. He was going to step up and start scrambling, but Thompson got him before he could get going. Another sack, 5 now. The Seattle Seahawks offensive line is, they are, tried to be nice to him, but let's just say it, they are, I mean, they were a decent offensive line in 1984, but compared to the other teams that are in this league, they are definitely one of the under average or bottom half of offensive lines in the best era of football, and the Colts are having their day as far as getting sacks. 5 already in the first half. Thompson comes in again and gets another one. Back-to-back sacks by Thompson. 6 sacks for the Colts in the first half. They're on pace to get 12 sacks in this one. The Seahawks have completely abandoned the running game, even though they're lead on 3rd and 40. Just hand it off and keep your quarterback alive. That's exactly what they do. The Seahawks still crush through that line. I'm sorry, the Colts come through the line now 4th and 42 between the penalty and a couple sacks. Seahawks are going in the wrong direction.
All right, so the timeout over and all 11 men back out onto the field for the defense.
And there is the punt.
This one's set away. Fair catch called for right around the 11-yard line. It'll be a 39-yard punt, no return. And the offense will come back out deep in their own territory. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just call it. So you got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field in this job.
That's Pat Beach's 3rd catch. Colts down to 1 timeout, 59 seconds to go. If they don't get the first down here, well, the Seahawks have 3 timeouts, so they've already committed. They got to go for the first down in the next 2 plays here. There's a diving. He actually dropped it. That's probably okay, because I think they need to either get out of bounds or get a big chunk of yards if they're actually going to try to get some points here. But now that it's 3rd and 5, you just have to get the first down, even if you can only get 6 yards. Trudeau from the shotgun. He'll step up, avoid the rush, but then another poorly thrown ball. Trudeau 7 of 19. Colts are going to have to punt. We'll keep an eye on Gary Hogaboom, who continues to throw on the sideline. Now Trudeau has led the Colts to a 2-1 record, and right now it's still just a 2-score game. So you got to wonder if they try to fix some things at halftime and let Trudeau come back out and show the adjustments, or if halftime is also a very good time to make a quarterback substitution. Let your team know about it. It's not surprising anyone. See if that'll fire him up, but we'll see what happens. There's questions on the Colts side. Right now they got to play defense, though. Oh, nice play by Thompson. Has been on fire the last couple plays. 2 sacks, and then the third consecutive, or 2 sacks, and then on that play he's able to jump up and knock it down. That's 3 of the last 4 plays. Donald Thompson he goes by, but his full name is actually Lawrence Donald Thompson. 6'4", 270. That was a very weird play. Jim Zorn was running, and he threw it about 3 inches to Eric Lane. Better to let your back take the hit than yourself, I guess. But Thompson was he was able to stick around the league from 81 to 91, so a nice solid career there. Started 143 games, definitely a very solid contributor. Never a Pro Bowler or anything. In 87, he did have a defensive touchdown and 5.5 sacks. That was one of his better years. Not his best, but one of his probably top 3 years was in 87. But if he played like this every game, 2 sacks already and a half.
Week 4 matchup. We won't put up a fight. This is fielded a couple yards deep.
The Seahawks will start with the ball.
And he'll wind up getting an extra couple yards here for his trouble as he'll bring this one out to the 27.
Zorn now will throw again. He'll step up. He will get it out to his #1 receiver, Steve Largent, for the first down. This is 3rd catch.
If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than
There's a handoff. They haven't been running much, but that's probably why. Hughes gets the carry. He goes -2 yards. And the Colts are, in fact, the sideline reporter is reporting that indeed they are going to make the switch to Gary Hogaboom. See if that can ignite this offense. You see, rating-wise, he's only 1 point lower than Jack Trudeau. So first, of course, that's weird. That made them switch sides of the field. So no reason to wait till the 3rd quarter ends. Just anytime a substitution is made, go ahead and change sides of the field. Not sure what all that's about, but should not affect the game, of course. There is not a wind issue here in Seattle today. Zorn fires downfield. He's got another completion, and that is, of course, Largent again. But that's down to basically the edge of Norm Johnson's field goal range. Actually, he can go probably about 54, maybe even 55 if he's feeling it. So they are already in field goal range, although not a chip shot. Zorn play action pass. He'll fire downfield, and that's another diving catch. Is that Johnson again? No. This time it is... is that the Floyd Turner? Daryl Turner, sorry. Daryl Turner on the catch there. So diving catches happening from everyone not named Steve Largent. But Largent has been solid as well. It was a nice completion. And it's going to be pass interference on the Colts. Eugene Daniel, the guilty party. they will take it to have the first down. It takes a receiver catch away, but of course the coach has got to have first and goal from the one rather than second and goal from the one. And now let's see if they'll actually hand it off. And who did they decide? No, Zorn's still going to throw. Nice coverage at first, but Zorn able to wait. He gets it out to Steve Largent for the touchdown. That's Largent's second touchdown of the game, at least 3 on the season now, I believe. So Steve Largent having himself a pretty good season here in Bestera. And now the Seahawks are going to go for 2, up 22-3. They want to be up by a full 21 points, it appears. They will hand it off, and nowhere, but there is a flag. There's nowhere for Dan Dornick to go, but it's holding on the Seahawks, so that's going to be declined. Rob Kreider on the hold. And Bentley's not going to bring it out. So now we'll get your... Out comes Gary Hogaboom. So later he may appear on a reality show, but for now he's still playing quarterback. There's Bentley, second carry, only 1 yard. The running games for either team have not been very effective. The Seahawks have been able to throw. The Colts have not been able to do much of anything, but it's Hogaboom's turn, so let's see what happens. Hogaboom, first pass attempt of the season, is going to be, I believe, unless he came in some other game. That is complete up near the 50, a 29-yard throw to Matt Boza. And if the Colts can score on this drive, maybe they can get some life into that team. When you change quarterbacks, Jeff Bryant gets his second sack. It was actually Dickerson picked up the blitz, but then the receivers are just not getting separation, and both Trudeau and Hogaboom are just holding on to the ball too long. Well, Trudeau started getting rid of it, but he was throwing it inaccuracy. Hogaboom now held on to it too long there, trying to be more accurate than Trudeau. He's holding on to the ball, but can't take the sack either. Seattle secondary is a very good one. Bentley picks up the nice blitz there again, and that was a nice throw by Hogaboom. Look at this, on the run, he tosses it out, and it hits Walter Murray for a big gain. Handoff and still nothing. And who's the injury? It's Eric Dickerson. It looked like he was getting up, but no, Dickerson is hurt, and so Albert Bentley is a good running back himself, but he's no Hall of Famer. Handoff to Bentley. He gets a yard, 3 carries, 3 yards. And when the Colts can't run the ball, they basically can't win. I mean, Hogaboom and Trudeau are not going to light it up very often. Hogaboom comes up to the line, tries to get rid of it, but a nice deflection there by the linebacker. I believe that was Fred Young, or it may have been Butler. I didn't get a great look at who actually knocked it down, but there will be a field goal attempt here for the Colts.
And his kick is indeed good, and the drive will wind up yielding 3. So a good drive there to begin quarter number 3, but they're only able to shake 3 points off that lead.
And now you put the pressure on your defense, who didn't particularly play all that well in the first half. But they're going to need to step it up here and make some plays if these guys are going to have any chance.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This will be fielded at the 8. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Here comes the field general leading his offense back out there for the next possession. How do you think he personally is evaluating his game so far? He was pretty good in the first half, been good so far here in the third quarter. He's got to like it, right?
Not looking for the dramatics here. Not trying to set the world on
Okay.
fire in terms of
Hang on
stats.
now.
Well, did lead him to some points, but it's still 22-6. There's a low throw by Zorn, but Turner makes the catch. Zorn now 17 of 25, 229 yards. Couple touchdown passes. Both of those touchdown passes have gone to Steve Largent. So if nothing else, Zorn has been smart, spreading the ball around, and then when he gets towards the red zone, he needs a touchdown, he goes to Steve Largent. I can't think of anyone else on this team better to go to. There's not that many people in history that are better to go to than Steve Largent when you need a touchdown catch.
The tight end position is not becoming a volume pass catcher. It used to be
Zorn to throw again, and that is overthrown and picked off. So the Colts get a bit of a gift as Tulis is just waiting for it. And, sorry, that's Tullis, not Tulis. Waiting for it, and it goes right into his arms. Misfire there by Zorn. That's really his first bad throw in 2 games. And Dickerson's back, so it was definitely a minor injury. And then you see he takes out the frustration on one of the linebackers of Seattle. So Hogaboom comes in. He leads them down to a field goal. It's not much, but it's something. It equals what Trudeau did in the entire first half. Then they get a turnover. So now they have the ball down 22-6. Getting a little bit of momentum here. You can't go 3 and out. You have to at least get some yards, even if you're forced to punt. You don't want the team to start feeling like you can't move the ball again. So this is an important play. Hogaboom needs to get the first down here. Let the Colts realize that they're still in this game. And he does find the open receiver, and that's across midfield. Hogaboom now, since coming off the bench, 3 of 4 for 79 yards. So he's already thrown for more yards than Trudeau did in the first half. And the Colts are starting to believe that they're in this game. If they could get a touchdown here, they certainly are. Even a field goal helps them keep the attitude of maybe this game's not over yet. But you can't just hold on to the ball for an hour. I don't know what it is with the Colts approach, but I'm not sure that Ron Meyer has taught his quarterbacks that they need to hold on to the ball for an hour, but there was even holding on that one, and still he just waited. I mean, you can throw the ball out of bounds. It's okay. You don't need to hold it for that long. Well, they hand it off to Dickerson, but he runs into 3 Seahawks, and I'm not sure why they're running on 2nd and 22 anyways, and the momentum they were starting to build up has just kind of been deflated by that sack where your offensive line turns around like, really? We gave you like 6 seconds and you got sacked? So the Colts will punt again.
so much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made
There you see the 88 Bengals remain undefeated by beating the 86 Browns. And there you see the Cowboys do not remain undefeated. They get annihilated by the 99 Rams. So here we go. Seahawks, they've been throwing all day, but it's getting close to the fourth quarter, and they're up by 2 scores, technically, because of the 2-point conversions. It is only a 2-score game. But they are going to just throw it. I mean, that's what they do. They throw the ball mostly. Now the Seahawks, again, I talked about Kurt Warner being hurt. And the only way to force the Seahawks to kind of play how they did was to make sure that Kurt Warner couldn't just take 25 carries a game or anything like that. So eliminating his carries has forced Chuck Knox to do what he did in real 1984. He wanted to be a balanced offense with a lot of pounding of Kurt Warner, but then when he got hurt, he had to switch it up to a pass-heavy offense, and like I said, they finished 5th in the league in offense, so it certainly worked. 3rd and 5. This is a big play for the Colts defense. They need the ball back. Play action pass. Zorn slings it towards the sidelines, but too high, and that's out of bounds. Maybe he was throwing it away. And they will have to punt. So this game has got defensive all of a sudden. In my head, I thought the score of 22-6 is a little bit of a weird one. It kind of feels like a blowout, but then when you actually do the math, it's 16 points, which means two scores, and we're not even in the 4th quarter yet, so this game is certainly far from over. That is provided, though, that Hogaboom gets rid of the ball, and at least when he has 5 to 6 seconds to throw it, he's got to get rid of it. Even if it's incomplete, just get rid of it. Also, they need their running backs to start doing some things. Oh, there's another turnover forced, and who else but Kenny Easley. Nice play by the corner. Was that the Pro Bowler Brown, or was that the other side? Let's see if they'll show us on the replay, but the bottom line is nice coverage. Contested pass, ball pops up in the air. Indeed, it was Dave Brown, the Pro Bowl corner, on Boza. Boom. He actually hits off of Brown, but then Easley's there to get the deflection. Another turnover force. That's number 3. That's what the Seahawks do. Force turnovers, and then Jim Zorn or Dave Craig. Usually Dave Craig in 84, but today it's Jim Zorn having to make the team pay for turning it over. There's a quick completion. Zorn now 19 of 30, 263 yards. So the Seahawks offense hasn't really lost much with Craig going down. Zorn is a very capable backup. Now, Dave Craig, of course, was a Pro Bowler. So there is a little bit of a drop-off, but it hasn't really shown. Again, they haven't been playing the 89 Niners or 96 Packers, which are the two that Dave Craig had to play against, but still, you play who's on your schedule. And at least they're not losing games that they can win. There was the fear that they played the 2 Super Bowl champions. They lost them both. Then they lost Dave Craig for their quote-unquote easier games. And maybe Zorn wouldn't be able to win those, and they'd be 0-6 by the time Craig got back. Well, that's not the case at all. Zorn won last week. Looks like he's going to win this week. That'll get him up to 2-2. And then I'm not sure who they have next week. They'll probably tell us at the end of this one. But if they could be... if they even split their next 2 games, if Dave Craig's able to come back to a team that's 3-3, that would be better than, definitely better than the fear was when he got hurt. Zorn now, he's probably looking Largent's way. That is not true at all. He goes to Johns, gets it down to the 1-yard line. Now, last time they were down at the 1, they still threw. So, but Kurt Warner's back there. He is the most talented back, so this could be a handoff. They do give it to him, and he fights, but cannot get in. Nice play by the Colts defense. In fact, Warner has carried the ball 5 times, but for -3 yards. So again, he is on a snap count. He's not going to carry the ball double-digit times in any of the games this year, I don't believe. Oh, wide open. Tight end Charlie Young having a huge game. That's his 8th reception and first touchdown. Zorn has thrown 3 touchdown passes in this one. Again, he has played very well in the absence of Dave Craig. That was almost blocked, but Norm Johnson got it through. And now it was feeling like it's a blowout, but the score didn't necessarily say it. Now it says it 29-6. Game's not over. It would not take the greatest comeback in NFL history or anything to win this, but just judging by gameplay, I do not see the Colts putting 3 touchdowns on the Seahawks defense within 12 minutes. More likely they'll turn it over another couple times. Ogaboom stands there too long and takes a sack. And this, I know it's a long shot for them to win, but what's not a long shot is Hoagland could prove that he needs to be the starter next week. He's not really giving them the lift at this point. If nothing changes from here to the rest of the game, I think they're going back to Jack Trudeau for next week. Just as I say that, though, he makes a nice throw there on the money to Boza. That's 5 of 7. It's just his completion percentage has been better than Trudeau. He did have the 1 interception, but that was a deflected ball, and it was kind of easily, so I mean that's going to happen. But the fact that he holds onto the ball too long on certain plays is the part that's disheartening for those that want him to take the starting job away here. But he still has 10 minutes to prove what he can do. There's a quick throw, another completion. 7 of 9 up to 135 yards. And again, the Jack Trudeau-led Colts offense only got 3 points. They only have 3 with Hoagland, but if he, let's say he gets 2 scores on, even though they have not much of a chance to win, if the final score looks closer because of Hoagland, that might give him the starting chance next week. Jack Trudeau has started all 4 games so far. And there is a flag. Now in 87, Gary Hoagland did start 6 of the games, and Jack Trudeau started 8. So it's not me just rating them that way because I wanted to cause a quarterback controversy or anything. It's very thin difference between the 2 quarterbacks. That's technically a run. He again, he was at least moving around trying to buy time. This time he wasn't just standing there like a statue, but he still couldn't find anyone to throw to. He didn't commit to the run, so he just kind of fell over for like a half-yard gain. Now he gets rid of the ball towards the sidelines, and that's caught. Nice catch. When he throws it, he has been accurate, 9 of 11. It's just sometimes he gets afraid to throw the ball. 3 wides now. Hoagland needs to put this in the end zone if there's any shot. There's, that ball was put in a place to get the touchdown, but it was dropped. And it's holding anyway. Perhaps if you're a optimist, then perhaps you understand, or you hope that the receiver dropped it because he knew it was holding anyways, but that still doesn't make any sense because Seattle declined it, making it 4th and goal. And then Hoagland throws it, trying to force something. That's another interception, but that's more understandable. You can't just throw the ball away there. I think you have to get the touchdown. You have to force something. And the way the Seahawks team is, they thrive on that kind of stuff. They put you in a position where you have to force something, and then they take advantage. That's turnover number 4. And now you might see a running game from Seattle, or at least running attempts. Lane gets that one. That's his 5th carry. So Warner had 5 carries ineffectively. Lane has 5 carries for 17 yards. So again, not very effective, but at least spreading out the carries amongst the running backs. Now they have outrun the Colts 55-7, so the Colts have just been pathetic on the ground. There's a handoff, and he gets across the 30-yard line. That's Warner, his 6th carry, so 6 carries, 4 yards. And now the Seahawks will just continue to work on the clock. Another handoff, this time to Dornick. That's Dornick's 4th carry for 10 yards. Warner's got 6, Dornick's got 4, Lane had 5. I know Colin Bryant had a couple. There's a handoff again. This time to Morris, his 2nd carry. And again, the Seahawks just working on the clock here. They're up by 3 scores. They've gotten it under 5 minutes by getting a couple first downs. They are happy with this drive, even if it ended right here. 3rd and 5 of those Zorns going to throw to try to get a first down. He's looking, gets rid of it before he gets sacked, and does find his man. Oh, and then there's a move, and he stays in bounds and gets all the way down. Another spin move. There you've seen some of the athleticism of Kurt Warner. And he is able to survive. So 6 carries. Oh, they're challenging. They are challenging. I don't think they're challenging the catch. I think they're challenging if he went out of bounds at one of those spin moves. And no reason to show us the replay. We're not interested at all. Okay, yeah, so it was a first down, but he did go out of bounds on that first spin move, which is a difference of about 35 yards. So. There's a handoff to Dornick. He now has number 5, so 3 different backs have 5 carries or more. Second and 11 now. Again, that first down, even though they didn't get all the way down to the red zone, they did get the first down, which allows them to take more time off. Zorn on a bootleg sees Bicker right in front of his face, so he's got to just get down, take the sack. Not an aggressive sack or anything. Zorn mostly went down on his own there, so no chance of injury. No reason to force anything. 3rd and 18. If it's there, take the first down. Otherwise, just get it out. He gets a nice safe throw there. And Zorn goes over 300 yards. He's at 308 yards with 3 touchdowns. Very good game played by Jim Zorn. And by the time this punt is done, we will be at the 2-minute warning. So the Colts will need a miracle of 3 touchdowns in 2 minutes. That's not going to happen. The Seahawks are going to win this game. But Hogaboom does have 2 more minutes to try to take the starting job away from Jack Trudeau for next week. See what he can do. Seahawks, I imagine, would be backing off and letting throws underneath happen. And it'll start off with a screen play. The running backs haven't done anything on the ground, and not as a receiver either, as Dickerson fumbles the football. Just a horrible game for Eric Dickerson. One of the worst of his career, I would say. And now, I don't think the Colts even need to be calling timeouts. Just let this game end. Let's see what they do. Yeah, they're not calling timeouts. That's Morris's 3rd carry. But they are going to let the Seahawks drain this clock, so we should be done. 5 turnovers. Seahawks, I think, turned it over once, so a +4. Again, that's how Seattle's going to win these games in best era football. They got to win the turnover battle, and they are good at it. That's Franco Harris's 1st carry. So they have decided not to use Franco Harris much this game. Finally do give him 1 carry here when they're just mopping up the disaster. There's a nice handoff to Warner. 7 carries. He had 7 carries. He had a catch, so 8 touches. Again, they limit him to no more than 10 a game, and that's the last play of the game. Seahawks win 29-6. They looked very impressive doing it, at least on their defense, forcing 5 turnovers. Both teams go to 2-2. I will let you know who they're playing next week if the announcers tell me. I also believe the Seahawks were on the road for each of their first 2 games, so Zorn has led them to 2 wins, and both at home. Ooh.
They also will exit this one at 2-2, and they'll get a chance to redeem themselves next week at home against San Francisco.
Okay. So both these teams are going to play divisional opponents of the Seahawks. The Seahawks are going to play the 3-1 99 St. Louis Rams, while this Colts team is going to go back to Indianapolis to host the 3-1 89 49ers. So both are going to have hard games. They are both 2-2, which means they are just fine. But both are going to be underdogs in their next game, so could be looking at 2-3. Anyway, thank you for watching this. Leave any comments you have of if you enjoy the series, if you do not like something about it, if something could make it better, just let me know in the comment section. Click, of course, on subscribe, notifications if you want to see more of this kind of stuff. There's a whole playlist of best era football. There's also a classic era football, which is same idea, just from the era before, which is extends from 61 all the way through 84. But again, thanks for watching, and have a good night, everyone.